What's going on, you guys, and welcome to Stranded Alien Dawn. In the last episode, we got the traps finished and the majority of the wall finished. In this episode, I'm going to finish off the rest of this wall here. I'm going to upgrade some more power and maybe get the Air Force in. Another thing that I wanted to tackle, getting some Mantha to work on some construction as well as some research. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so not this episode, but maybe the next one. I might make the continuation here of the trap wall. As of right now, I don't think I'm going to need to. This is already sufficient enough. But as you can see, I do have a little space for it already marked out, and I can't wait to start working on it. But yeah, at some point that's going to get continued. I'm also contemplating moving all of this, my wood, my sticks, my grass, or the hay, I should say. I'm thinking about moving it back here. This is a absolutely massive area that I can utilize for that, and I can section off the power over here or something. I can even run the power along the interior wall. The reason I'm thinking about doing that is a big old massive area that I can use for a ton of resources as opposed to itty bitty living space. Now even this over here, I'm thinking about extending it slightly. Somehow, some way. Potentially matching with this line here, but again, I'm not sure what I want to do. Alright, so let's see if I can harvest this silica. No, I'm gonna wait. Yeah, I'm gonna wait. They still have so much that they need to plant, I don't even want to bother them. We got Vicente, who's just harvesting like a madman. Rita's harvesting, Katina's cooking. I mean, there's a lot of harvesting going on. But on the plus side of things, I'm nearly done with this back wall. Now what this will do is it'll give me a little bit of a buffer between the two, the enemies that are still spawning in the interior here. It's driving me nuts. Another thing that I wanted to tackle potentially in this episode, aside from upgrading to concrete, which one day, oh yes, one day. What's that? Well, yeah, one day there's going to be concrete over here. Speaking of the concrete, alright, so that's currently being produced, and then over here still making metal alloys. Okay, cool. So gonna need a massive stockpile of stone, which I do have, 1.6k. Alrighty, I'm glad to see that. However, the wall, that's gonna be a big problem. Another thing that I need to add is another door right here, so that I can have easy access in and out of my base in multiple directions. As you can see, I have this here. I'm thinking about running it, having another one over here, the door. So speaking of, yeah, let me go ahead and run that now, actually. Let me have it be in line with the other ones. Okay, so right there, just in case my survivors want to run outside the base, they won't have to go through the twists and the turns. Well, they will a little bit, not too many though, and then they'll be out. So there we go. That's taken care of. So I'm got a few things going on in my head that I'm contemplating. One of them is Ken. Do I want to send Ken out on expeditions, as I have a massive stockpile that I've been working on for him? Let me show you guys real quick. So look at all these missions that I can have him go and do, just absolutely ridiculous amounts of stuff. So I've been stockpiling those with Rita, and the reason I'm doing that is two reasons. Three reasons, honestly. Reason number one, it'll give me a ton of stuff to work on once Ken is done with all of his mundane tasks. Number two, I plan on adding another one of these hot air balloons. And reason number three is I plan on sending Rita or another survivor out on that second little hot air balloon to help continue the farming of all those missions. Now, I'll probably start doing that once the spaceship debris here that you see around my base starts to get pushed back further. Like, honestly, once it starts to get to about here, a decent hour or two walk, it's not going to be viable enough for me anymore. Like, even up here, it's not overly far, but it's still a little bit of a nuisance. Another thing that I noticed that I need a door out of this place to allow me to go into the back. I don't need one over here, as this is going to be a fully enclosed section for my animals. Like I said, if people want to get out, they can go out the back, or they can go out the front. Technically, I could have them run out this way. Technically, it wouldn't be hurting anybody. And there we go. Alright, so I have my various ways in and out of the base. I have my section there. I just need this little door here. But I'm not going to add this door until I have the stockpile of wood. Hold on. Let me see here. Looks like they're... no, insufficient skill level. Hold on, that means somebody else can do it. Samantha, you're not going to sleep. You are going to construct that for me. And if that's the case, let me go ahead and do that. Where's she running to get wood from? Drone, I swear to God, if you take all the wood. Come on, get a little helping. Ah, she got one. I think that's enough for one door. I think. Ah, he tricked me. I thought he was gonna go over here. Well, let's see, it did what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's about one door, so okay. So it's gonna do one door. Oh well. When I break this wood, hopefully the drone won't pick it up and I'll be able to utilize it with Samantha. But Samantha's tired, so as soon as she's done with this project, off to bed. Deconstruction. Yeah, so you only get half the resources back, which is a bit of a bummer. I'm not gonna lie. It means when I'm deconstructing my house, I'm only going to get partial back. I'm only going to get that half. Man, that's kind of a letdown. I'm wondering where the concrete that I placed went. It's probably underneath the flooring somewhere, ready to be built. And as for these, I'm going to need some more of these, but can't do that until Simon is done assembling. Currently sitting on 0, but I need 6. So he's going to work on those for a while. Samantha's going to continue her research as I need AI cores, and then after the AI cores, I'm going to do the research for the service bots. Mainly, I need help around the base. They're not giving me an 8th individual, so I have to produce my own 8th individual, and my 9th and my 10th and 11th, etc., etc. So I have to take it upon myself to get the extra members now. That's fine. They'll do more work than the other guys, honestly. Those service bots are amazing. If you don't have them, there's something wrong with you. Alright, so Ken's working on the construction arch, Rita's transporting food, and Simon is building more electronics. Glad to see it. I think now's the time that I'm going to allocate Ken to some more salvage operations. Yeah, I'm gonna have him do a little bit more salvage. After I send him out on an armory bay debris. Let me knock out the military ship debris. Since it's a single time mission, let me clear it off the schedule. Now, if this is your first time observing Stranded Alien Dawn, there's just too much for me to go through with you guys. So please feel free to go back to the very first episode of any of my playlists, and you'll get a somewhat detailed playthrough of this game if you're interested. And I've completed all but one of the main scenarios. I've also completed the DLC. There's 3 main scenarios. Crash Landing, which is one that I'm currently playing here. However, I'm doing a survival series with it, as it allows me to have the potential of 8 survivors, where I'm not sure if the military outpost will allow me to have that many people. I start off with 6, which is significantly better than this one, but yeah, I didn't want it to be too easy. So the crash landing, to get off the planet, you have to build a antenna. We build 2 of them so that they can pinpoint everybody in space, passing ships, to try and get your people off. Giggity. Now, you can only remove 1 survivor at a time, which is a bit of a letdown, but oh well. But the whole point of that survival scenario is to get all your people off the planet. There's also a military outpost mission where you start off with 6 survivors, and it's up to you. Oh, nice. Found some high-tech weapons. And it's up to you to build the Ansible relay. The Ansible relay is a massive power sink. We're talking at least 150 bare minimum. And if it stops running for any reasons, it starts up again from all the way at the beginning. It takes about an hour to charge this thing up. So like I said, if at any moment during that hour, say you're on 59 minutes and 52 seconds, or even 59 seconds, and the power shuts off because you don't have enough power to run it, you get to start off from second 1, minute 0, and you get to wait another whole hour. It's a bit rough. There's also the, what's it called? The trading outpost, which I'm not overly fond of. I haven't done that mission quite yet. Where's Rita? Rita needs a weapon. At least something so I can command her around. Oh, Rita. There you are. There's my Rita. Okay, so there's 1 short bow that I can command with. And I have a little bit of metal that I can farm from over here. So let me go ahead and get that going. Or deposit. Okay, just to get it off my, get it off the traps. Okay, traps everybody. Bring them up. I was about to say Rita didn't equip her weapon, but she did. Wood can grab. I thought there was some sort of high-tech weapon that he was able to get his hands on. Rita, what are you doing? Get up here, please. Can I select Ken, please? Thank you. That was just a pulse rifle. Alright. Why is everybody just doing what they want? Everybody up here. Samantha. Everybody on the roof, please. Where's Rita? Making her way over slowly but surely. Slowpoke. As you see, yeah, they are going to attack the fence here, but don't worry, they'll go all the way around. They shouldn't want to get into my base, but they did. Okay. Alright, so I have a bit of a problem. I have a breach. Since I am building over here, they're able to get in through this door because of this single fence that needs to be built. Yeah. So, bit of a nuisance, but that's fine. Nothing I can't manage. I do have a massive trap field that I can go back and forth with. If I need to escape, I can always re-maneuver and call it good. Just trying to get everybody together in this hallway. Samantha doesn't want to move in, and neither does Rita, so let me reallocate them manually. And there. So the majority of them are over here. Let me take down these guys who are shooting at me currently. And let me speed up time. Right, 1 problem down. Move back into the middle. Alright, time to move back this way. Get everybody back over here. Come on in. I'm not scared. Come on. Alright, he's gonna die. He's annoying. And then he's gonna die. And more or less, just waiting on these guys over here to bleed out. So undraft everybody. Let them get some sleep. I have a big day tomorrow. These guys are dumb. Honestly, it doesn't matter what they do, unless they decide, well, they're too big to come this way, so never mind. Yeah, but I need to get this completed. That's, or at least this, one of these, a bit troublesome. So hopefully Ken will start working on that as soon as he wakes. No, he's already awake and healing. Okay, never mind. Maybe he'll get working on that as soon as he's done healing. But I need that back section completed right now. I cannot allow these enemies to do what they just did. Nope. Never again. I don't like having my survivors out in the trap field. It doesn't do anything to them. Absolutely nothing. But at the same time, you know, they're out in a trap field. Just exposed. Not for me. Nope. Got 3 more bleeding to death. Which they will bleed to death. Unless they escape in time. But I have a feeling that they're just going to bleed to death. Alright, so who is doing what? Ken's working on some salvage. Edmund's transporting some wood. And honestly, you know what, dude? Can I even build this with you? Just construct that, Edmund. And then you can do what you're doing afterwards. There you go. Or not. Nope, you, sir, are going to play. No hand pans. You, I said, are going to work. Never mind, the drone took the wood he was carrying. Silly drone. I needed that for the door there. However, since I've completed the entirety of the wall, I don't have to worry about that door anymore. Though, I do want it up just to have that extra little layer of defense. So Simon's still working on the electronics. It just seems like I can't get a handle on these things, you guys. Just constantly out of them. As for expeditions, it doesn't seem like the military ship debris was removed. So let me reallocate Ken and send him back out again. And hopefully he'll bring me back something and complete that mission. Now I'm not sure if that mission is there forever. You know, there's no counter on it. Meaning it could potentially stay there. And if it's going to stay there, I don't want to waste all of my time, you know, playing a repeatable expedition. But what a crazy world we find ourselves living in. At the time of this recording, a social media influencer was shot at a Utah university, a conservative. I believe his name was Charlie Kirk. He would go to these universities and challenge the local students to prove him and his theories wrong. Apparently, somebody thought that, you know, debating was out of the question, and I'm just going to shoot you in the chest, or where was it, the shoulder, and it went through his neck, you know, ending his life. This kind of stuff is absolutely unacceptable, you guys. You know, I went overseas. You know, if you want to shoot somebody, join the friggin' military. You know, go about it the right way. You know, fight in one of your country's wars, because you'll end up shooting somebody, guaranteed. I have a couple under my belt. You know, I don't like talking about them because it's not something that needs to be discussed. You know, there's no chip on your shoulder for ending a human life. But these people nowadays, y'all would rather just use your weapons instead of your words. You know, words are more powerful. Yeah, you can end somebody's life really quickly with a weapon, but you can change their entire perspective of life with your words. I'd rather open somebody's eyes than permanently close them, because I've already done that. I've had my fair share of death. This is just ridiculous. I don't like bringing up politics, but you guys, we need to be better than this. We need to be better than our base instincts, our baser instincts. We're humans, we're not animals. We're supposed to be intelligent creatures, but all I see is the violent tendencies taking over more and more every single day. People use their words less and they use their violence more. You know, some people say, oh, it's the video games. Yeah, that's partially to it, yeah. You desensitize people with video games like Call of Duty, you know, these extremely gory games. Okay, got another high-tech weapon. We gotta be better than that, you guys. We gotta rise above our nonsense. I know I myself, I have problems with my anger. Though I struggle every day to get a handle on it. But still, you guys, the important message here is change somebody's life with their words. Don't change it with a weapon. Because all it's going to do is ruin that family's life for some time. You're going to end somebody's potential future that they could have, you know, cured cancer, been the next president, changed the world for a better purpose. But you ended it with a bullet because they said something that upset you and hurt your little feelers. Oh, God forbid you guys don't want to talk to me in person. You thought that guy was, you know, brutally honest. No, oh God, no. I'm not even sure if he was brutally honest. I'm assuming he got shot because he was saying some stuff he wasn't supposed to, or, you know, somebody has the emotional fortitude of a hamster. I'm going for the latter. But yeah, it's absolutely unacceptable. And not only just that, but we had a school shooting the same day. Thankfully, nobody died from that school shooting in Colorado. A little high school in Denver, I believe it was Denver. Yeah, there was a high school shooting. You know, the school shooter was injured, as well as 3 other students. All of them, I believe, are in critical condition. As of right now, they're all alive that I'm aware of. So we had that. And then not too long ago, there was a church shooting, I believe it was in Maine, where some crazy person decided, hey, I'm just going to go shoot up a church, you know, have, I believe it had the words, "Where's your God at?" written on the assault rifle. You know, I don't want to say that our country's burning, but our country's burning. It is literally on fire. I've never seen this country more divided in my life. My 38 years on this earth, I have never seen us more divided. United we stand, no, divided we fall. And that's all we're doing. Using our anger instead of our intellect. No wonder nobody wants to deal with Americans. Oh, you stupid American. Oh, you use violence instead of words. Yeah, no wonder nobody wants to deal with us. I don't blame them. We used to be one of the greatest countries in the world. We stood for something. We made the best products. And now we outsource everything to China. We don't make the best products. We don't even have the best education system anymore. You know, the education system in the United States is so, you know, askew and uneven. It's ridiculous. Like here in California, we're like the 48th dumbest state in the nation. You know, the national average ain't even triple digits. We don't even have a national average of triple digit IQ. And then I believe like Maine or Massachusetts, one of the highest in the country, where their national average is triple digit IQ. You know, the schooling and all that stuff is just so unbalanced. I don't really know if it, I really don't know what it is. You know, this country's been divided for quite some time. I don't know what happened to it. You know, this used to be a country that I was proud to go and fight for, that I would have given my life for overseas in Afghanistan. But now, I sit back and I wonder what was my sacrifice for in the first place. Why did my brothers give up their lives for this? For this BS to take place in this world? Y'all need to figure your stuff out, America. and the world. The entire world needs to figure their stuff out. I mean, I heard that Poland had to engage their air force and shoot down Russian drones because the drones decided to go into their territory. Russia's starting to get a little more aggressive, even though it was quote unquote Trump said, "Well, I'm going to have him end the war." No, you're not. He might have been he might have been polite and respectful to your face because you're a world leader at the time. But Putin was laughing behind your dumbass back, good sir. And I call him a dumbass because he's doing some dumbass stuff. Renamed the Gulf of America, the Department of War. 200 executive orders and half of them for BS. He's just pushing his power as far as he can. Testing the waters, I'm assuming. Originally when he was running, I was excited. I was like, he's gonna do something. He's gonna make a change. And every passing day, I just sit here and scratch my head and go, huh? I'm not the smartest person in the world. I'm not the smartest person in my state. I'm not even the smartest person in my darn city. But I have enough common sense to see what he's doing is just BS. Like I said, I don't like talking about politics, but enough is enough. As a veteran, I can only hold my tongue for so long, watching these atrocities unfold before me. This is just absolutely BS. You should feel ashamed of yourselves, America. You should feel ashamed of yourselves. The way you handle your day-to-day lives. Unforgivable. Absolutely ridiculous. And as a fellow American and as a veteran, I will judge you and hold you accountable because that's my job. I'm supposed to hold my neighbor accountable for his actions. My neighbor ain't done nothing, so that's just an example. We need to police ourselves, but we just, oh well. I watched a video of a Ukrainian refugee get murdered by some dude in North Carolina. And not one single person on that train did anything but look away. Had that been me on that train, dude would have been getting some hands. It's like Americans, you lost your balls. You've been neutered. And I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of watching y'all just be worthless. As worthless as Vicente right now. Getting attacked. Thank God it's not by everybody all at once or he would be dead right now. But yeah. No, I'm not saying every American is worthless. No, there are some hard-working Americans out there still. Doing what they're supposed to do. Contributing to society, not just, contributing to it burning to the ground. To you, I salute. You have my utmost respect. But the rest of y'all, you can do better. You can do better. You know you can do better, but you choose not to because you're lazy. I'm done sitting back. I'm done watching all this BS. I'm tired. Absolutely no reason for it. Turn on your own countrymen and people that are trying to escape a war-torn nation because, you're a dumbass. You're an uneducated piece of human trash. And yeah, I'm gonna call it how it is. Americans, we lost our balls. We lost our ability to tell people how it was because, oh, God forbid we hurt your feelings. But you grow the hell up. Mature. Have the emotional fortitude of something bigger than a hamster. Shoot for a rabbit. At least a rabbit, Bare minimum. And most of them lost their backbone, too. Like I said, with the North Carolina incident, how nobody did anything on that train. Nobody has a backbone. Nobody can say, oh, I've got cojones when you do absolutely nothing to help people that you could help. But again, you choose not to because it's easy. When the hell did America become easy? Just, I don't know. I can go on this for hours. My autism, it will allow me to just put this on a loop for hours and hours and hours. And I will sit here and, repeat the same thing. I need to focus on something else or I will devolve into absolute madness. It's just bullshit. The sacrifices my brothers made. They did it willingly, yes. They did it so you didn't have to. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and be a nice person for views. I'm not going to be a nice person just because social media requires it. And I'm going to tell it how it is. I'm going to call the bullshit when I see it. I'm going to let people know when they're being dumb. And I'm not going to sit back and hold my tongue. And neither should you guys. You should feel compelled to want to make your world a better place. Not sit there in a gasoline soaked snuggie with the matches lit and watch that son of a bitch burn. And I'm done with America's Joker mentality. We need more Batman. We need more Supermen. Denzel Washington said it best. Hard times make hard men. Hard men make easy times. Easy times make easy men. Easy men make hard times. We're in that easy men era where none of them have a spine. And I say I was born in the wrong era, and I for sure see it every time I walk outside my doors and I see these spineless men claiming to be, oh, I'm an alpha, I'm a sigma. No, you're a beta bitch. That's what you are. You're nothing. I'm nothing. Because even I sit back sometimes. But I do get fed up and run my mouth when it's required. In America, you should too. You just stop feeling like you're, castrated and neutered. Grow your balls back. Man the hell up. Do what's right. And if not for yourself, then for the people who risk their lives every single day so that you don't have to. So that you can sit in your comfortable house and drive your car back and forth from work while there's men and women who don't see their families for an entire year. Like myself when I went to Afghanistan for 15 fucking months. You wanna know how long I got to see my family for out of that 15 months? 2 weeks. I got 2 weeks off. And as an airborne infantryman, it ain't, an easy job. You get to go outside the wire and walk up a fucking mountain for 3 days straight. Or get airlifted to the top of one and walk down it for 3 days straight. Clearing villages. In danger that entire time. Again, so that the American people, or whatever your country you're fighting for, so that they don't have to experience it at their front door. So that they don't have to experience it with their own two eyes. They don't have to deal with the nonsense. But here's the thing, if they were to experience it with their own two eyes, if they were to have it in their streets, I guarantee you they wouldn't want it. They wouldn't support it. Be 100% against it. But I guess not, just me. Just me. And then some people are going to call me a liberal because I have this specific view. But at the same time, I consider myself to be borderline. I'm a Republican as much as I am a Democrat. I have equal views on both sides. And I think more Americans need to. Political party system is just an extra thing to add a wedge into a family. Divide a country. I know it's a necessary evil, but people are too dumb to use it for what it's for. Just use our weapons instead of our words. That was like a 30-minute tangent. I need to calm myself. As you can see, I get very passionate about specific things. One of them being the well-being of my country. I went overseas, like I said. I didn't think about what would happen now. I didn't think about what would happen in the future. All I knew is that somebody had to do the job. And if not me, then who? I'm not looking for no chips on my shoulder. I'm not looking for anybody to, actually listen to the things that I say. Seniors getting over there knocked the hell out by a bolt of lightning. No, I guess I just say the things that I say because I know that you can do better. I know that you can. And it upsets me when you don't. You'd rather take the easy route than the right route. Yeah, it's really irksome. Now, if you are doing what you're supposed to, obviously this isn't meant for you. This rant. No, this rant's meant for the useless. The male tits on a boar. Absolutely worthless. Did I say that right? Tits on a male boar. That's something my stepfather used to say. You're as useless as tits on a male boar. And yeah, I agree with him. There are some people out there that are as worthless as tits on a male boar. Can't even feed the young with them. But he's got them to play around with. Uncle, I wish I had some boobs I could play with. No, I'm joking. I've got my wife's boobs for that. Alright, so let's try and steer this course. Or steer this back on the right course. So majority of the base. All my wood's done. All of my, well, it still needs to get built. And that's mainly because Ken has been salvaging, which I think I'm going to put a halt to that. Let me see, how is this one coming along? 3? Yeah, I'm going to put a stop to that. He needs to do some construction. And it's also because Samantha has been working on the research over here. Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. Oh no, she finished. Perfect. Alright, since she completed the AI core some time ago, I need to go and produce one. So in order to do that, just build one. I'm going to put that at the top of my list, as I no longer have a need for the electronics. I do have a need for CPU though, just one. But if I can get this AI core created and the bots thrown out onto the field, game changer. So long as you have enough power, you can place as many of these things as you want. Sorry, I might have to listen to this rant on, and see how it actually sounds, secondhand. It felt like it was one hell of a rant. Honestly, I don't even think I was paying half attention to the words coming out of my mouth. Could have said something very detrimental. But at the same time, if I say something in a heated passion like that, it's probably how I really feel. And honestly, that's how I feel about everything. About where our country's at, where it's headed. We can do so much better. I can see it, you guys. I really can. But nobody wants to take the initiative, I guess. Hopefully the next generation will be smarter than we are. I really hope so. Because like I said, I'm not the smartest person in the room at any given time. I'm smart enough to understand the things I observe, and I'm smart enough to understand that by knowing my past, I can better steer the course of my future. But at the same time, I'm seeing a lot of these past mistakes taking place all around me. And it's just leading to more negative. A country further dividing itself. Okay, I need to get off the politics. This is you guys can see why I don't like to get onto politics or religion, because I'm very passionate about it. Most people aren't, though. They're passionate in one way or another. They're passionate in a Republican aspect or a Democratic aspect, and I'm passionate in the American aspect. Honestly, it's not even just passionate about America. I want to see the entire world thrive. I know at some point in the future, it's not going to be in my lifetime, maybe not even my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren's lifetime, but at some point in the far distant future, countries will cease to be a thing. As soon as we become an interplanetary species, I'm not sure if I said that right, but once we start colonizing other planets and moons and such, there's not going to be any time for all of these individualism nonsense, nations. We're going to have to unify as a world, especially if we find alien life. If we find that, I think that's going to unify the entire world. Because who would want to, potentially, if aliens came to our planet to cause war, would you rather A, go to war with a planet where their people are divided, they have various views, and some might not be opposed to your subjugation? Or would you rather fight a world where they all have the same goal, where they're all unified, standing together? I'll tell you what, I'd rather go for the one that has the various nations, because some of those nations are going to be really easy to take over. Really easy for my alien self. Weird tangent, I know. I go off on some weird stuff sometimes. I'm looking for something, though. I'm not finding it. Alright, well, enough of looking over here. Let's check out the base. Yeah, really weird tangent and a really weird video. So if you felt targeted by the way that I was speaking in that speech, then that's because you feel guilty about something I've said. And you know you can do better. You know you can. You know you're not doing your utmost. I'm not calling you worthless. I'm just saying I know you can do better. Don't prove me right. Prove you right. Never try to prove anybody else right. Do something because you know you can do it and you know it's what you're supposed to do. I know I don't practice a lot of what I preach sometimes. My wife came out here, it's like, oh, really? Yeah, I know. I want you do some of the things you say. But it doesn't mean that it's not any less right. I guess it all depends on your perspective. And so I might want to add some more lightning rods so that my people stop getting zapped to death. So back over here, lightning rods. Let me add one in majority of the corners. Distracted by another device. Oh yeah, the door. Already being attacked again. These animals are relentless. Alright, well, let me go ahead and pause then. Give me a chance to build this place up a little bit. Alright, so there's going to be a few sections in there that aren't going to be covered. Well, that's fine. As long as majority of it's covered, that's the main important thing here. And thankfully, it's only 10 scrap metal, so I have more than enough scrap metal to get all of these completed. And then one final one over here, over to this end, and let's add in the ones for over here. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, is why I have this one gap between the two things here. The one gap between the wall and the plants. Use your words, man. They exist for a reason. There. Alright, see, I have the one gap so that I can add in these little protection sections. The little electrical rod to combat the lightning. Alright, but one thing that I need to do is grab everybody. And now that all of the wall there is done, I can get everybody on the wall. So let me throw them up there. And we can watch as the enemy gets pummeled. Come on, hurry up. I'm ready for y'all. Come get some. If only I could find my little pokey jabber. It's a... What is it, honestly? It's a metal tool a straight metal tool with a spike on one end and a flat end on the other that I use to clean my pipe. Or at least I use it to clean the debris out of the bowl. I need to go find that really quickly while this attack takes place. So since these animals are going to go the long way, we've got nothing but time. So let's sit back, kick our feet up, and enjoy the show. Alright, one cleaning tool located. Now, how is the progression going? And there it goes, you guys, working like a charm. Hit that fast forward again, and you'll be able to observe one of the best defensive bases the game has to offer. Oh yeah. I take pride in my base. It's efficient. It gets the job done. Oh, the destruction. Oh, I see my people went and decided to take a nap. Honestly, don't blame them. But that Juno is on his way. So, everybody up. Okay, I guess I just need to do this and get them all up there. There we go. Are you guys gonna attack or what? There we go. So she's attacking long range. Another thing that I can do is maneuver my people over here. I don't quite have all the defenses in place yet for me to feel confident in allocating my survivors to the towers. Honestly, I don't even know if I'm going to use them. Not built in there for aesthetic. Okay, undraft. The rest of those will die on their own. Except for him. He's not really... Well, he is bleeding, so never mind. I guess he's just trying to find a quick way in. Oh well. No, he's starting to get annoying, honestly. So let me draft everybody. Kill him. Please and thank you. End that miserable bug's life. Thank you. Perfect. So yeah, one interesting video with the commentary. Again, if I said anything that unsettled you, then that must mean that you feel guilty about something. And I implore you to do better. That way you don't feel guilt. It's a really horrible emotion that we humans put ourselves through for a reason. Because you know you did something that you shouldn't have. But I don't need to sit here and act like your mother or your father. You have one of those. And honestly, I've got my own kid to raise. I don't got time to raise you guys. Raise yourselves. So yeah, with all of that said, rest in peace to Mr. Kirk. I hope his family finds closure. I hope whoever is responsible is brought into custody and tried, found guilty, and the law exacted upon them. The same goes for the school shooter, or the school shooting in Denver, as well as the church shooting and the victims for those. I pray that the families can find closure for the victims, for those that have passed away, and I hope that those who have survived can manage to find a way to continue to try and find some brightness in this dark world that we find ourselves living in. Yeah, this whole video I just, pretty much just ragging on the incompetent Americans. But sometimes things need to be said that need to be said. Doesn't matter if it hurts your feelers. I'm not here to placate your feelings. I'm not here to try and be your best friend. This is gonna be the last time I bring this up. I don't think I'm gonna have another video with religion or politics in it. But I'm not afraid to speak my mind about important matters, like ending somebody's life over your beliefs. Got no time for that. Like I said, I'm trying to raise a little girl, and all I do is look around and see hell. I see my country burning, and the rest of the world following suit. I don't know what it's going to take to get us out of the slump we're in. I don't know what it's going to take. Nor do I know the steps to, fix it. So, with all of my complaining, I can't offer any steps to go about rectifying our mistakes. Likewise, I'm only human, just like everybody else. I'm more liable to make mistakes than not. It's just human nature. But at the same time, we can take it upon ourselves to mitigate those mistakes. Not just for the betterment of ourselves, but for the betterment of our neighbor. It says in the Bible not to wrestle your neighbor. Ignacio, he's a very smart man. He read some books. Good times. You're going to hear me quote a lot of movies. There's a lot of good lines in movies. A lot of very powerful statements that you can find in movies. And there's also a lot of garbage. That was a very good line. Do not wrestle your neighbor. This means don't worry about what your neighbor has. Don't worry about fighting your neighbor. Worry about yourself. But at the same time, uplift your neighbor. For it says in the Bible, a happy neighbor makes a happy neighborhood. And a happy neighborhood is somewhere you can raise your kids. I don't know why I'm using a Hispanic accent there. My apologies if it offends anybody. But I'm imitating Jack Black's role as Ignacio. That's what I'm going for here. That's the whole point of comedy. I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm not making fun of a culture. I'm just using their accent. Borrowing, I should say. Which I've never found anything wrong with borrowing an accent. There's nothing wrong with it at all. Some of the best comedy, in my opinion, comes from, people that are willing to put themselves out on the line for the sake of humor. I mean, look at Team America. Hans Briggs. Hello, Mr. What was his name? Oh, hello, Hans Briggs. Kim Jong-un or whatever his name was. There's a lot of good moments in movies, such as that, where, people imitating or just borrowing an accent. Honestly, we need to do it more often in our lives. Throw people for a loop, especially when you're on games such as Call of Duty or any kind of voice chat. You can pretend to be another culture, just to throw people for that loop. What's Samantha blocked by? Oh. That's not good. Well, if she's blocked, then that means so are the enemy. So let me go ahead and just tear this down. Deconstruct. Yeah, let me deconstruct that. Because if it's got her blocked in here, that means the animals, the enemies will be blocked in as well. So if you guys enjoyed the video, which I don't see why you would, after the tangent, the lecture I gave y'all, at least the ones that needed it, it needed to happen. It needed to. I feel that, as somebody who makes content, I can reach more people. And just by bringing it up, some people might feel the compulsion to live a better life. If not, I tried. Can't work miracles, people. I'm not God. Just a simple human trying to make my world a better place for my daughter when I'm not here. That's mainly why I'm doing this. To make the world a better place. Because it's already on fire. It's been on fire for long enough. Enough's enough. I want to see our world prosper. I want to see everybody prosper. No more hunger, no more poverty, no more BS. No more trying to screw each other over. But again, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash that like button for me. I promise I will do my best not to go off on a tangent like that again. But like I said, some things just need to be said. I had to say it. I had to get it off my chest. And I did. So, other than that, you guys, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. I'm going to end it here. I don't want to overshoot. I'm almost at that 55-minute, 56-minute mark. Only get an hour, and I don't want to overshoot and have to re-record an entire hour. Jurassic World Evolution 3, right around the corner. I cannot wait. If you guys can't wait as well, let me know in the comments. If not, don't even bother. Alright, you guys take care. You stay safe. Live a better life. Yeah, guys. Catch you in the next one. Later.